Okay, let's go. I'm just going to take you through a little bit this Christmas period up to Valentine's Day in February and a little bit of what's just happened. So currently, as above, we are getting ready for the conjunction in 2020 when the ruler of the Twin Peaks, Saturn, will finish a cycle of 29 and a half years, and he will come back to his home of Capricorn. He rules Capricorn and Aquarius. And for the very first time I haven't found out exactly when the last time was, but Saturn and Jupiter are going to meet here in Capricorn in 2020. Now, Saturn, as I said, rules here, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So when you see the sign of the cross and the skull and bones, you always see the pirate's cross like this. Well, that cross is talking about the cross that goes between Sagittarius and below Gemini. See if I can show you that. Can I show you that? Where is, yeah, Gemini here. Okay, so the skull and bones cross is Sagittarius, Gemini, and Virgo, Pisces. Here's Pisces. And where's Virgo? Here's Virgo, sorry, look, let's just go like that. Okay, so you have Virgo opposite Pisces here, Virgo, Pisces, and we got Gemini here opposite Sagittarius. Okay, let's come back to where we were. So this next just under 2 years, and before the 2020 winter solstice, you see Saturn is Chronos, time, and Jupiter is space, expansion. And so Saturn is contraction, Jupiter is expansion. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, and Jupiter has been ruling since the sun fell in Libra 12,000 years ago, since we've been split and we've become male and female, which is the essence of the fallen human, when we fall into a material realm with no more connection or recollection of our spiritual realm. So Jupiter has been ruling for all these years, and he's just going to finish now 2,500 years in Pisces, which was his home, and he doesn't want to give back the throne. And they're going to be meeting here in Capricorn in 2020 on the 21st of December. So everything happening right now is about Jupiter trying to get brownie points, because when he sits in Capricorn, he will be in full. He's in exaltation opposite in Cancer, and he's not happy when in Capricorn. So he needs to make as many brownie points as possible, and they need to have a very strong point over humanity before 2020. So everything happening now is essential for these last steps of not letting Saturn bring in, we should now have merged our expansive, philosophical, looking for the light, searching for material satisfaction, and we should now be ready to contract and come into this basic human value of equivalent exchange, where we become gold again. We finish our 26,500 year cycle of this joint experience all together in the wheel, where we enter the gates here. This is the 144,000, because the sun takes 72 degrees to do one age. So this is 144. Saturn is the only planet to rule 2 ages side by side. So this is where we become again male and female. We were split. We became male and female, although we're told that Venus on Libra is Aphrodite, female, but it's actually masculine energy. It's the fake light. It's a man disguised as a female. And Venus can do that because Venus rules Libra and Venus rules Taurus. Where's our Taurus? Venus also rules Taurus. And Taurus is not actually a bull, but a cow. And this is the feminine female energy of Venus. And it's being used in a very materialistic way because the bull has this incredible connection to values, and you know, once we get over materialistic values, we are able to find that spiritual value of our worth. What are we when we have nothing left to hold on to, which is material? That's when Venus really becomes our hearts, because we're happy with our spirit. So this energy is used. That's XISS. And also the third eye. This is the Philosopher's Stone, Aldebaran. These are the 4 fixed stars, the 4 directions. Aldebaran, which is opposite, and Terras in Scorpio, which is where all the action is happening now, that I'm going to show you. And the other 2 stars are Fomalhaut. Okay. I don't want to go off on one here. Yeah, here's Fomalhaut upside down here. Fomalhaut is opposite Regulus, and Terras is opposite Aldebaran. Anyway, it's not very easy to see, but that makes the famous cross that we're all crucified on. And we're crucified there on the fixed cross because the mutable cross of the skull and bones that I just showed you before, Sagittarius, I'll show you again. Oh, this isn't going very well, is it? This is not very good. Yeah, this is typical, the kind of stuff that happens to me. Well, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Sagittarius is on top of Gemini, and Pisces is on top of Virgo. That is the crossant skull and bones, the peg in the leg that keeps us crucified here on the fixed cross. We need to make it back to the fixed cross to become gold, but we have to take the peg out of the skull and bones spin. And this skull and bones is ruled by Mick Jagger, Michael Jackson, because Jupiter rules Pisces and Sagittarius, and Mercury rules below Gemini and Virgo. So Mercury is M, Jupiter is J, that's the peg in the leg, pirates, seal, Solomon's seal, cross, so that we don't enter this 144,000 coming back to gold age. No, don't you start, my little mouse. So let's go back to what's happening now. Sorry, I just feel I have to fill people in. So this is today. This is Venus that I've explained is being used in the Michael Jackson Club because the gold where we should be coming back to, where Jupiter and Saturn, they should lay down as one and let the lamb, Fomalhaut, lie down with the lion opposite the Sphinx. This is Giza, the pyramids of Giza opposite the Sphinx. This is the correct equinox that we should be on. and this is where we should all be arriving now. So everything going on now is tricks to stop that happening, and we got a lot of tricks happening, and we're walking into one hell of a big trap. I mean, honestly, gang. And just by seeing it, it really breaks the power. And these are our last chances. I won't be able to speak up like this while we're going anymore. If you haven't found the wisdom, the true wisdom of Libra, the snake is the scales. This is the scales of the snake, because once this was the snake, which was a dragon, a flying dragon, or it was an eagle before Scorpio was an eagle, and it carried in its claws the snake of wisdom. So this is what we lost. This is why the snake is said to have fallen to the ground on its belly. So this is a very important area. And at the moment, Jupiter has just left 1 year in Libra, and Jupiter has just hit Scorpio. So at the moment, it's setting off in Scorpio. Jupiter is Judas, Jupiter is Zeus, Jupiter is Jesus, a mixture of Zeus and Jupiter. And he stole the throne of his dad, Time, and he took over space, the underwheel, and he doesn't want to lie down and give it up here. You know, we should be joining our expansion, our flesh, with our contraction, spirit, Saturn right now. So he's getting ready for here. And at the moment, he's in Scorpio, which is very much the kiss of Judas, because Judas is again Jupiter, Jesus, that you've been stuck in these 2,500 years of religion. And the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces has been Europe. Europe has been a very important place for the past 2,500 years. Our women have been raped. The white blood has been used. Benetton is now firmly underway. Our DNA has been properly mixed with the 10 tribes. And an opposite Virgo, so this is Jesus and Virgin Mary, Pisces and Virgo. The Holy Grail of France is coming to an end now. That's why we've got the yellow brick road happening now, all this uprise, which I'm going to show you in how it's happening. But this is such an important time. We're about to come into this gateway. So this is just big stuff happening. So Jupiter and Mercury, Mick Jagger, who own the Skull and Bones cross, I'm just so bad at explaining these things, but you see, you know, he's opposite Gemini. Gemini is over here somewhere. Pisces is opposite Virgo down here, and this is the cross. And these two guys that own this cross are now coming up to Scorpio, where Jupiter is for 1 year, and Mercury has been currently going backwards. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication, navigation, all forms of travel, all forms of it's the throat chakra. It's our communication. It's how we get the message over. It's the messenger. That's why it's Hermes. You know, that's why Orange is the telephone company. This is Mercury, and Jupiter is religion and expansion and philosophy. So these are the guys running the joint. They don't want us to come back to this wisdom. They want to keep us in the philosophy and in the very logical. It's very intelligent. It's very clever. It's very good at scheming and finding plans to be bigger and better than, you know, Saturn, which is when we come back to the true wheel, the true spider of 8 before we're being pushed into a 13th sign here. You know, the purity of nature was once 8. The wheel was 8. The pirates know that. That's why their wheel is 8. We're now coming into 13. We've been conquered and divided and conquered. So these guys, Mercury has just been going backwards. Venus was in Libra, a couple of months ago, and she did 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness. And she's going over, this is the opposition of Pisces, this is Mary Magdalene, this is Virgo, which is opposite Pisces here. So this is very much white-black. You know, we've been focusing always on racist problems between white and black. Nobody wants us to know that the age that we're going into, Aquarius, is red air opposite Leo, which is yellow fire. The red and yellow people are going to be taking the earth back over, keeping us always divided and never. We should all be becoming one when we come back here. So red and yellow. Red is playing the role of America at the moment, but the red people are really the sultans of swing. It's you know, it's Saudi Arabia, it's Palestine. All the setup of Israel is just to better position the New Jerusalem that they want to bring in this time. And China is very much in on the deal. Russia and America are just patsies. And we're going to be led straight into this trap, you know, with Brexit happening in England and the yellow brick road. Europe has been allowed to be set up, the unicorn. The unicorn is not a happy over the rainbow place. The bridge over troubled water is when we find our twin peaks, when we merge our flesh and spirit as one, and that's an individual inside job. So at the moment, Venus has finished. It went all the way back to Spica here, and then it's now been moving forward, but been going over its shadow area. And this has been raising up all the issues of this forlorn teenager. This is well, Leo is the teenager. This is Mary Magdalene that wipes the feet of Jesus. This is Miss Havisham that loses her husband. This is the woman who never got married. This is the eternal distressed just before marriage. It's, you know, it's the virgin syndrome. It's the Cinderella syndrome that we've all been put under, that the woman is supported by the man, and now that's all been broken down. And we're realizing that white and black nations were very much just used for breeding purposes, and all that alchemical wisdom of the pre-sexual celibates. That's why nuns and priests are always celibate, because they want to engage this energy of this is our most fruitful time. This is the harvest. This is when we're absolutely ready to be plucked before we go into marriage, Libra, and before we go into deep sexual relationships, Scorpio. This is our prime psychic being, and most of the people, the young people today, people born between 1968, that 20-year generation, you are all holistic, alchemical. You know, this is your time coming, because this is Earth, and when Jupiter and Capricorn meet here, this is Jupiter and Saturn. This is an Earth sign, Capricorn. So you guys are coming in for your time. My lot, Pluto and Leo lot, 1949 to 68, we've had our time to roar and burn the house down, to bring Babylon down. This is your time. So Venus going backwards here before hitting Libra, her home. Venus rules Libra, but Venus has been taken over as Lucifer here, because the beautiful flower that she makes in the sky, she makes a beautiful loop every 2 years, will be closed, and the materialists, the Jupiterians, they have turned that into the pentagram and the Baphomets. So they are mocking Saturn and turning him into the demon, when Saturn is that inner strength, that inner responsibility, when we can become aware of the flower of life, when we become Charlotte's Web, when we're able to spin, and we can spin ourselves out of this material trap. So this is very much what the Charlotte's Web means. Lot's wife. Lot's wife, when she was turned to stone, it meant the wisdom was lost. She was shut up, and that's very much what's about to happen now, because all these women who don't see what's happening, many won't see what's happening still, but some of you are going to start waking up. And this is important because, you know, this is judgment. Libra is judgment. That's why the scales is all about balance. And if you don't find that inner balance of Jupiter and Saturn, these two, when they meet up here in 2020, we're going to be in trouble. This is preparation. So the outside, the exterior, the estoteric, I can never say it. You know what I mean. The inner and the outer. The outer is going to play, and we too in our personal lives will be living very much this. We will be coming to the realization that we are our own saviors. We cannot be saved. That Jesus is crucified, and nobody is going to be here to look after us women. So this is what we're going through in our personal lives. Venus will hit here, and this is the big thing that I want to talk to you about. You see, on the 22nd, Venus will have just come home, and Mercury and Jupiter will be conjunct, and I'll show you how that's happened. Let's have a look. And we're also going to stop and see the 2007 black moons. So that's the moon, the sun. They were conjunct. That's why the moon is black when it's conjunct to the sun. So that was on the 7th of December. And we had another one, and you see Venus here going backwards. We had another one on the 7th of November. That's her doing her little petal in the sky. So we had another, here's the moon. I'll show you exactly. Voila. On the 7th and the 12th. So this for me is very much 007. 007 is bondage. We're getting ready to come into bondage because Saturn is contraction. So we have to find that key out of bondage, material bondage, 23 double twin DNA, 23.5 tilt of Earth crap. You know, we are in a trap. We're in the peg and the leg, I said. And we have to find this balance now. And this is the preparation. So we've had the 007. Let's go back to now. 12:19. The time doesn't really matter, but we'll put it to that. So Venus is now in Libra. She's now in Libra. When did she get there? Yes. Oh, she got there on the 11th. And she's going to be right on the scales for this conjunction here. So this is very big. This is very big with everything that, you know, we have been. I'll show you something just to give you an idea.
A word about the pattern of betrayal. The formula, a world revolution. We're going to show the pattern by which the Soviet Union hopes to take over the world. This process.
Now, the Soviet Union and America are just the same sultans of swing. This is just a very meticulous plan that has taken 12,000 years to recult all the souls that don't see what's happening, because it's an inside job. Once you see what's going on, you're safe. I mean, we might not be safe from death, but we are safe to not have to come back to this material wheel, and it's not going to be fun, because, you know, we can only grow and blossom as much as we can join the dots ourselves. This is all just to show you how he speaks about the kiss, and he just spoke about the betrayal. Everything has been set up for the betrayal.
Three steps. We'll mention the three and then describe each of them. This first principle applies only to themselves, namely materials, and that is their philosophy of life.
Jupiter.
The second,
They're the Jupiterians.
and to us. It is the myth of coexistence. And the third step, which applies to both Soviet Union and ourselves, is destroy with a kiss.
So this guy who represents the Vatican, which is the beast, is putting all the blame on Russia when these guys are part of that clan. We were all from one clan. This is just jealousy of that magnetic female energy that doesn't need philosophy and tricks. It doesn't need trick or tricks. You know, we can actually live in a material realm with equivalent exchange without it becoming communism. So this is very important, because this is what I see happening, and the 22nd is a mirror of 2020, which is double 2, when Jupiter and Saturn meet here. So let's move on. So what's going to happen with Yellow Jackets? What's going to happen? You know, it really is time now to start to see the bigger picture and get prepared. Whatever area you're working in, whatever you're doing, you need to adjust. You know, maybe you're in specific areas where you work in order to make the adjustments where you work, because we all find ourselves in different areas of our journey at the moment. Some of us are still very much feeding the beast, and it's quite scary, but maybe you are meant to be where you are. And you see, as soon as you change consciousness, it will be seen. People will see it on your face. That's why you can't do this too fast. You have to go slowly. But we've got a little bit of time left. We've got from 2019, we've got a year left, and that's not a lot of time, but lots and lots of stuff is going to start happening. I mean, look, Yellow Jackets is going to spread all over Europe, and all this is basically because the French, the socialism will become the new fascism, and it's all being led from France. That France is the end of the Holy Grail, which is all very much, again, this energy of the Mary Magdalene Virgo Virgin. That's why the Virgo Virgin represents Lot's wife, who turned to salt. And she stands in Jerusalem, and she stands in 64 Biarritz, because 32, the state of grace, where the Church of Saturn is, where the labyrinth is, that means we're able to create those electromagnetic waves between Virgo and Pisces, and we are able to create that spider, that labyrinth. We ignite our 7 chakras with the 4 parts of our brain. Once we connect our 7 chakras with the 4 parts of our brain, we have become 11. We have become the Twin Peaks. 4 and 7 is 11. This is all that DNA activation, New Age rubbish. It's just when you're able to merge your expansion and your contraction, your fear and your joy, love and hate. Real love is knowing the wisdom and doing what you have to do to help your fellow man. and it's not socialism, fascism trap that we're walking into. So the sun, whilst all this is happening, on the 22nd, will be in Sagittarius. This is why the 25th of December has become the birthday of Jupiter, not Saturn, because we're on the wrong. We're on a stuck record. We should now be entering on this equinox, but we're still stuck on Aries, Libra, Alpha, Omega. So most people think that the sun is in Capricorn during the winter solstice, but the sun is actually now in Sagittarius because of all these divisions that they've given us. Jupiter takes 12 years to do the wheel. He spends 1 year in each sign. That is the wheel that we're now on. We're under the Jupiter Arians. And they don't want us to find this inner goal because they can't remain in that state of being in the higher chakras. They can only rule us as long as we're attached to our lower chakras. Okay, so what else is happening? Mars, the god of Aries and Scorpio, where all this is happening, Scorpio, Mars is still in Pisces. So Mars is going to spend a month and a half here, and Uranus is still here. Uranus, the planet of change, sudden shocks, revolution, visionary, works with Jupiter to bring our desires into the material, has just spent 7 years in Pisces, and is just doing a last retrograde from Aries, where it went a couple of months ago, and it's just coming back in Pisces. So both Mars and Uranus are here, and he's doing an elastic band. Uranus makes change whether you like it or not, and that's what he's up to at the moment before he hits the god of war, Aries. So I'll show you Uranus. And also, we've been told that Uranus rules Aquarius, which is not true. Saturn does. So Uranus is very much in on this as he works with Jupiter. And, you know, when we're using Uranus properly, we can be absolute geniuses. It brings us into the highest wisdom. But otherwise, it's used for all the AI agenda and keeping us very much wrapped up in technology and the overlay. So Uranus is here on the 22nd, and very much on the Vatican. This is the Vatican. This is the white and black. This is yin and yang. This is the Freemasons and the Vatican. This is very much Virgo, Pisces, white and black. So it's absolutely there, about to do the elastic band, end the Holy Grail, end the years of Pisces, and bring us into their version of the Twin Peaks, because they don't ever talk to us about black Capricorn here. What we do see a lot of is white, red and black. That's why Nazi colour is white, red and black. That's why you just go check all the posters of all the music, of all the film, of Pink Floyd, The Wall. Any cultural events at the moment are white, red and black, because Jupiter, that rules Pisces, wants to take hold of this age when he can't. You know, this is our time to become gold. So you see all that happening, and now let's move forward. Now I'm really not. I'm. What else was going on? We had the moon in Gemini right on top of the Magician. We'll have a look at that. This is the Magician. This is the fake Philosopher's Stone, Aldebaran, the bullseye, using that feminine Venus energy to overtake and using this, creating Lucifer, because it keeps us in the material realm, and we're not able to get hold of this wisdom. and step into the other air sign of Aquarius. Libra is also air. So, yep, so the moon is going to be right there as well. I mean, the moon will be moving, but that would mean that the moon is actually going to be in Taurus as well. When's it going to be on Aldebaran? So it would have been just before an Aldebaran, 22nd. It's still in Taurus, and it moves onto the Magician and into that Mercurian energy, which is what Jupiter wants, because Mercury and this is the conjunction that's happening, Jupiter and Mercury. So that's very good for Mercury, for tricks in Scorpio, secrets. This is a time where in our personal lives, people will begin to, a lot of us are going to be suffering, and there's still going to be a lot of injustice going on. But many people will be serving that cold plate of vengeance, and they won't even be doing it in a prepared way. It's just going to happen automatically. People, they sow what they reap. They reap what they sow. That's me. I'm sorry. I get, you know what I'm like. Okay, so let's move to Valentine's Day. Let's just watch everything moving along. Christmas Day. Christmas Day, Sun and Saturn. Venus is here. January. Mars is still in Pisces. Yeah, I've got my YouTube on. Up. Okay, I don't know where the music is. It will change. Oh. I mean, I'm not very good at making those cool videos, am I? Okay. Oh. Okay, we're back. So Venus in Sagittarius. Venus is going to be conjunct to Saturn. And I noticed that when the European bill was made, Saturn was conjunct to Venus in 1992, the 31st of the 12th month, which is very much Brexit stuff. Saturn represents Great Britain, and so this is all very much Brexit. And 22nd, we're going to have the sun. Okay, sorry, Valentine's Day. Okay, Valentine's Day, we've got some big stuff going on. We've got Jupiter on the side of the hero, Jupiter that rules Sagittarius, giving himself an arrow. Venus and Saturn in Sagittarius. Pluto is still here too. These guys will all be together in Sagittarius. So this is very much Pluto finishing off 20 years. So this is really attacking all our belief systems, religion, ideologies. Everything is coming crashing down now. Venus is our heart. You know, it really touches us. And the big thing is that Mars hits Aries. You see Mars is in Pisces the day before, and Mars hits Aries, and Uranus is absolutely conjunct. Now, Uranus, the revolutionary, crazy, bringer of change, electric shocks, nervous system, masked, terrible change, next to the Mars, the god of war, with everything happening with Brexit and the yellow brick roads, yellow jackets. This for me is Deadly Valentine. And look at this. The moon only just happens to be right on top of the bullseye. Yeah, I'm not very good at remembering everything I've seen, but yeah, look at this. Mercury right on top of Fomalhaut. So, Mercury doesn't have a lot of character on its own. It's very influenced by whatever's going on in the sky. So, those of us that know will doubly know. Those ready to know will know. Those ready to make the 144,000 have another opportunity to come here. The sun sitting right in between the twin peaks. This is up to you. You either use this energy and go into this whole fake, rainbow trap that we're walking into, and you don't use this Mercury and pick up on that wisdom that we should all know. But it's not going to be easy to pick up because Jupiter's got his brownie points. He's got Venus, Aka Lucifer, working for him, putting her charm on Saturn, on your restrictions, charming you, everybody, in Jupiter. Jupiter is playing the big hero. What's going to happen to Macaron? Macaron is Jupiter. Is something going to happen to him? Eventually this socialism, which is really run by the Sultans of Swing, they are now showing us images of wanting to decapitate Macaron because this is very much the energy of what we'll be brought back into. They're bringing us back to the Twin Peaks, and the Twin Peaks is when we find that inner discipline. But if we haven't, we're going to live as a collective, a tyrant, tyrannic. They're fake Baphomets, which is Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter as the fake king. He doesn't want to become one with Saturn. He doesn't want us to find our spirit. So there's a lot more that I should be saying to you. But I mean, if you know what's going on, look. The moon magic in Taurus, right on top of Aldebaran. Uranus and Mars conjunct. Right conjunct, that's Uranus, Mars, right together on the top of the beast, just in Aries, before to begin 7 years of fighting and war, and ending religion, and the Freemasons no longer have to hide because the Freemasons have done the job for the Sultans of Swing. Everybody's going to have this kiss of Judas, followed by this Deadly Valentine. Deadly Valentine is what we saw going on here. Let's go back. Okay, we go back to the 007s. Venus right on Spica. This is the female. This is what's been got rid of. She who knows how to be that absolute alchemist, who is able to regenerate and knows her body and has gone through the experiences of Libra and Scorpio, and is now completely at one with the spiritual realm, opposite Pisces. This is where we should all be now. We should have got our alchemical powers. This is why we had the movie Carrie and the Exorcist, because it wants to demonize this pre-marriage virgin image of the woman that holds the wisdom. This is also the old lady. This is also, this is the witch. This is the one who knows how to heal, how to regenerate, how to be absolutely perfect in her physical body and ready to become spiritual, which is where we should all be now when these meetings are going on. So on the 7th, we had the black moon. There's the moon. And then we had a second black moon. We have Jupiter, Mercury over here, not quite yet in Scorpio. This is the 12th and 7th, so yeah, we've got the second black moon. And then Mercury moves into Scorpio, up. Sorry, just look at Mercury. So there, you see there's Mercury going backwards. All this happening on top of Antares. I'm going to show you in a minute the charts. But it's doing a little dance over Antares, which is very much, this is, you know, Scorpio is the fallen snake. This is the Sultans of Swing. These are the Cobra Gypsies. You know, this is, are you able to ignite your inner gypsy? Because the gypsies have got us in their crystal ball. And this is the Black Mirror. So Mercury then goes invisible, does its little dance, goes back into Libra. And then on the 22nd, it's conjunct. So this for me is the kiss of Judas. And, you know, it waits to be seen whether this is an underground energy, some kind of rituals underground for something coming up afterwards, Deadly Valentine. It may be a preparation. They may want to keep Christmas nice and happy because very profitable time. Mars still in Pisces on the 22nd. Okay, let's go and have a look at the charts. What have I got here? I've got the 22nd of December. What time have I put? 5:51. Okay, well, there's a lot of moving around going on, so we can't really base it on where the planets are according to the different houses. But you can certainly see that there's a sun and moon opposition going on with Aldebaran, that moon on Aldebaran, that black magic. In the 7th house of other people, relationships with other people, diplomats, the judge, the 7th house, the scales, and where is Venus? Venus in Libra. So the moon, this is very much what I was saying. This is Aldebaran, Taurus, the scales, and Venus rules Taurus and Venus rules Libra. So this is again a very big sign on the scales here in the 7th house. Something with Macaron. Okay, Uranus is not yet conjunct with Mars. Mars is going to be moving forward for Valentine next to Uranus, but Uranus is still retrograde. And it's getting ready to come back into Aries, where it's retrograding backwards into Pisces at the moment. We got Jupiter and Mercury, Michael Jackson, the kiss of Judas. At this time of day, Scorpio would be rising. This would be very much touching our unconscious realm. And the sun in Brownie Point, Sagittarius, Saturn in Sagittarius, and joining Saturn and Pluto. He's here for 2.5 years, and Pluto's here for 20 years. Saturn will come out to Capricorn and Jupiter will meet him there in 2020 in Capricorn. So they're getting ready. All this is getting ready here. Sagittarius is all brownie points, because Saturn's not happy in Sagittarius. Saturn is happy in Capricorn, and Jupiter won't be happy when it gets here, but it's going to be very happy as Jupiter, it now moves through Scorpio for this year, and next year it will be in Sagittarius where it's particularly happy. Okay, Mars is making a big trine with the people. Cancer represents the people. The moon rules Cancer, and the moon is in the material magic of Venus uses Taurus energy to pretend she's a woman here in Libra, charming everybody's pants off when it's actually Lucifer unless you get to this hidden wisdom. There's also a very nice big trine going on between Scorpio, Mars in that Aquarius energy, imagination still in Aquarius. So if you're still following the yellow brick road, you will be overcharged by that fake humanitarian energy. And when you see what's really going on, you will be getting ready to become part of the true Twin Peaks. Making, with the people, with all that energy, charging up the people. Okay, what else have I got here? This is... I've got another 20 seconds. I've got another 20 seconds from another time. This is midday. Okay, everything says the same thing. This is Valentine's Day. I've got two versions of Valentine's Day. Here we've got at 1 o'clock. And you see there's this very big opposition going on between Scorpio and Taurus, Jupiter and Moon. This is the people, this is expansion, this is after we've had the kiss of Judas. This is Antares, this is the fixed star again. This is the fake philosopher's stone here in Taurus, opposite Antares, where we had the kiss of Judas, where we're going to have it on the 22nd. So this can activate any kind of under rituals that was going on the 22nd can be done underground to make this deadly Valentine more potent. So this is something Brexit, yellow brick road again, Macron, Putin, China, whatever. And we've got this is the big thing. This is Uranus next to Mars, making a big square to the people, Cancer, North Node. And I can't express how violent that is to have Uranus change, sudden change, electric shocks next to Mars war in the sign of Aries. This time here gives them in the 11th house, which is all the Aquarius. This is normally the home of Aquarius. This is all that energy which people are going to be spurred on for revolution. This spells revolution, equality, equality, and fraternity, which is actually the 777 Liber. Liber means Libra. These are the scales, the judgment, taking us into a complete socialism, which disguised fascism as socialism. And this is going to be the revolution that they wanted. We've got Sun, Mercury, these guys are all in Aquarius, 10th house, so people's self-worth, becoming the big bosses. Everyone's gonna. This is all to do with government. And Sagittarius is the Sultans of Swing in the 8th house of regeneration, normally the home of Scorpio. Okay, 14th, another angle of Valentine's Day. Same thing. these guys aren't quite opposite anymore. Well, it's a little bit later on, but we've got Pluto now against opposite people in Sagittarius. This is all the unconscious house, first house, how you react unconsciously, all under the energy of Sagittarius, expansion, fake light, torch, and this very, very powerful Mars and Uranus. Okay, now I'm not sure how all that's going to sound. You know, I don't know how all this is going to really play out, but we can see already what's happening with Brexit, with Yellow Jackets. This is just going to be the steps now to set off chaos in order to bring in the steps to make us feel yet again very, very guilty, and to have us in place for 2020. Brownie points for Jupiter for 2020. Okay, everybody, stay safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. I'm going to redo my site over Christmas, and in the new year I'll be sharing my site. But in the meantime, you can still go to my site for bookings. I'll be working throughout Christmas, New Year, and I'm always delighted to help everybody with their journeys. All my love.